Hello, welcome to Real Magic Review. My name is Steve Faulkner, but you probably all know that, don't you? But I'm going to say it anyway. And we're going to do a review in a minute and a Q&A if you've got any questions and I've got any answers, which I might not have. But if not, I'll just make something up and try and sound knowledgeable. Before we go on, you know you must like and subscribe if you haven't yet. And do check out onlinemagic.co. Some members here, live sessions every week, special guests, over 800 tutorials and more coming soon. A whole course, well half a course, just over half of the whole book of Royal Road to Card Magic on there so far. And tonight we're doing a Lincoln Ring session because that's what I've been spending the last 2 days losing my mind over for my show. So what I'll do is say hello to everybody. Stuart, Mr. C, how you doing, Chris, Tom and Renee, nice to see you. And thank you everybody for watching live, because again I did my usual and didn't put this out until like 10 minutes ago that I was doing it. I'm good at the old marketing. I should have put a clickbait thing on there. I was going to. It was like a game changer. I was going to put game changer mentalism, because it is. This is a bit of a game changer for me. And I'll tell you for why in a minute. There's not loads to say on this, but it was one of my, when I got it at Blackpool, I was like, oh yeah, I've been looking for something like this for ages. So, what we're doing, oh, I haven't said, well, it does sound it, doesn't it? Whammy board and Whammy writer. Where's the little box gone? There's a board. Oh, I've lost a little box for the writer. You know, oh, it's over there, but there you go. It's a little box that you see on the picture. So, what this is from Guy Bavli and Haim Goldenberg from Bavli, that is it, isn't it? Magic. I've always liked their stuff, and they've brought a lot of stuff out recently that I think is really, really good. The Blackpool stuff really impressed me, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan. Most of the stuff I've reviewed of theirs has been online stuff. I love the Guy's version of PK Touches. I loved their first lecture. I missed the second one, the lecture in Blackpool. I just thought they were a great team. They're lovely to watch on stage and just some really solid stuff. And it's all old school, you know, it's all kind of, there's no tech, and they might have, I mean, obviously they do their online stuff, but this stuff isn't. But it plays like it is. And that's why when and I'm going to do some more of their stuff over the next coming weeks. Well, when I saw it and was demonstrated, I really felt like a spectator again. I was like, that's great. And I kind of had ideas. I was, yeah, it was great. Direct stuff. So we do Whammy board first. So this is Guy Bavli's board for writing on, and there's no tech on this. It's all well priced, and I don't want to go into what it is, and I suppose it will make sense when I look at what Whammy writer is. But well, actually no, I can talk a little bit about it. I'm going to say about nail writers or secret writing, because you know, no non-magicians watch this anyway, and most of us will know what that is. If you look at your sort of, if you haven't done much mentalism and you're a beginner, look at your basic mentalism books, Corinda, and when I get to a bit that I think that looks like a great effect, and then I go, it needs a nail writer, I would always go, no, I can't do that. Now it's all changed, and I'll tell you for why. One reason is this board. Now this board allows you to hold it in a way that just looks like you're naturally holding it. So it leaves the thumb free to do what it needs to do. So basically, if I'm going to grab it, I'm grabbing it there, but my thumb isn't holding it. I'm only holding it with my back fingers, but it looks like I'm not, of course. And this is the beauty of this. When we bring in the secret writing part of it, that's what it's for, basically. So it's a small board. There's nothing to see. It can be handed out. You might feel a bit iffy doing it because there is a slight gimmick involved, but I'd be totally happy handing this out. There's nothing to break in it. It's unbreakable, and it's just a really, really elegant solution to the problem of how do you secretly write and make it look like writing. Now, it's not going to look perfect, but it's great. The other thing you can do with it is you can write with it down here, which is so clever. So you can be chatting away, so you don't have to be up here, you can be chatting away. You say to someone, think of any number, 2-digit number. This is at its most basic, of course. You pretend to write something on here with your Sharpie. You can do that as well. I don't know why I did that. You go, I'm going to write a 2-digit number. Right, now you give me any 2-digit number, and you peel it off and you show them the writing. So brilliant, brilliant. So the Whammy board can be used kind of surrounded because of that, and that's a thing with writing. With normal writers, there was a kind of balancing act for me going on, the ones that I tried, so I had to be kind of way back and on stage and stuff, and I've tried it, it's absolutely brilliant. So it's surrounded, it's close up, it can be handed out, it feels good, it's a great shape, it's a great weight, you can be able to walk around till the cows come home with this. And I think it was Bob Cassidy who said, or he might have been quite someone else, but Bob Cassidy said you could basically nail write the works of Shakespeare by walking around the stage and the big action covering the small action. So that's that, absolutely brilliant. Even though, yes, I did get it free to review, I would without a doubt pay for it, along with the writer, which I'm not going to show you, but what that allows you to do, now you're looking at someone here who, if I write, I know, nobody did. If I write something with two hands, with all the effort in the world, and I sit there and I still look like I've written it with a nail writer. I've got the most awful, awful writing. And if it had been available when I was a kid, I would have been one of the kids at school that had a laptop, like myself. You know, it's all that sort of stuff, because my writing is so atrocious. And I can just about get away with it being legible if I'm careful. So the fact that I can write a number with this, so I could pretend to write a number and I could write it behind my back, and there's justifications for the number coming out. Well, let's say someone says 47 and I haven't written it yet. Okay, so I could just write something like that without looking and then peel it off and hand it out to someone. That's going to be, so that is, it's not coming into, there you go. So that's me. You'd have no idea what a game changer this is. That's me writing with pretty much a nail writer. Now, if I was to try that with a normal one, I'll tell you what, it probably wouldn't be anything there, but it would be just a squiggle, or you might be able to sort of make it out if you got one of those special people in that work out, sort of handwriting experts, what are they called? Cartographers, is that right? So I'll answer all the questions in a minute. So on stage, that's a black, you know, it's a bit different now because it's not focusing and stuff like that, but that's a solid, and I wasn't pressing that hard. You can press harder to get it looking really, really solid. Also, that's on a bit of index paper. There's different papers you can use to make it look solid, and the point of it is, it looks like a Sharpie on stage. You can turn it around, it's a black Sharpie. Now, of course, because I've got one bit of index card on it, I just grabbed a bit of index card, so it's not ideal. It's a different kind of stock. But, I mean, Haim Goldenberg uses a shiny paper, which makes it look really like Sharpie. Guy uses like normal paper, and they have different reasons they talk about on the download for this. So what the writer is, it's an answer to the problem of people like me, or everybody actually, not just people like me, but I just cannot use nail writers. And my thumbs are like my big toes. They're like hobbit thumbs. They're like thick, piggy, trottery thumbs. And I remember, well, I went into Davenport's and got a couple of nail writers. And the original, the Whammy, I was really excited. So I try, and I'm not one of these people that tries things like for half an hour and gives up. I did everything I could. I tried everything. That thing wouldn't stay on there for a second because of my wide, piggy little thumbs. So I tried everything, and yeah, some things worked okay, but what this does is you mold it to your thumb. So you basically put it in water, do a thing, which is super easy. There's no difficulty about it, and with 30 seconds, you've got the ideal fitting writer. Now it uses a what do they call it? Oh, it's a kind of, oh, I've written it. Oh, it's going to really annoy me. China, I think, which I don't know much about this sort of stuff. So it's a soft, thick. It is kind of pencil, but it looks thick. It looks like Sharpie, and you get some of that with it, and you cut it down, and you can get, that's going to last you for so long. It feels smooth to write with. It's not like a normal pencil. You could write light, and it comes out quite heavy. It's easy, and it all feels really, really nice on the thumb. And those two things, I think, I know I always forget. I think the writer is 25 by Haim Goldenberg. I think he had it under a different name for a while. He's used it forever, and the board is, I think, is $50. And with those two things, I can now go back to Corinda, and I can go back to all those lovely effects that I got so excited about, and then went, you need a writer, and I was like, oh. couldn't do it, and do them, because I'd be quite happy giving that out. And there's loads of justifications for if you do write it a little bit scruffy. I know I think people years and years ago told me about a story he would tell with doing a routine about his kid writing something, so it would look scruffy. Or you could tell a spooky kind of story about a child writing a number, sort of thing, and it would come out like it wouldn't be neat and tidy. But there are loads of ways you can do it. Actually, you don't need to with this, because like you said, that for me to write that's better than me writing it with 2 hands. You don't need it, but if you wanted to, and I think Guy had a thing where I saw the end of something in his lecture where he mentioned that if you write it behind your back with the pen, apparently, and come out, then you've got a justification there for it looking how it does. But I don't think you need it. I think it looks great. And if you want, for when you want to write, I suppose, larger things, you can. It might look a bit scruffy, but that's kind of the point. So I think these, for me, they're brilliant. They're elegant solutions. They've taken something and they've tweaked it and not tried to be. It is revolutionary, but in a different way. It's not like, let's do something different for the sake of being different. It genuinely answers a problem, and nothing's going to run out, nothing's going to burn out, except the lead, which you'll be able to buy, so easily. And it's all really, really super practical. It's great stuff. So just, if you've got any questions now, I'll answer them. If you've got any afterwards, put them in the comments afterwards, and I'll come back to them next Thursday. So let's have a look. Look very professional. I love, thank you very much. Right. Then Steve ruined the illusion by forgetting what he's doing and where it is. Yeah, totally. Bardini, how you doing? Looks good. Same old waffly, Steve. We all. What are you talking about? I'm right on it. I've been using that pad for a long time. It's great. The way you grab a pad and make it so easy to write. I mean, Steve stopped waffling and pulling a Steve. I'd stop watching. Joking, I would still watch. Yeah, I'd stop doing it probably if I had to stop waffling. How you doing, Gary? This is from Gary and Steph. Now you can put your website on it. I did a thing on Facebook, but Gary, put your website behind it and underneath. And I was say if you want merch done or you want your own t-shirts printed, Gaz and Steph will do them for you, and they're not just for brands, they're for everybody. So, and really, really love these. I thought the ball was great, but it seemed like a chunk of, yeah, well, I think, the thing is, that's something that will last forever and I'd use forever. So if I was putting it in a show and I was doing stuff close up, I'd happily pay that. Magic stuff is expensive. We know it is, because it's specialist. They have to, and people like Bakore, they're an independent company, so they make sure it's all well made, and it is really well made. There is subtle stuff on it, like how it looks on the back and how it feels and all that, and how it hides the thing it needs to hide. And there's a lot gone into it, and I'm fine with that. Actually, I'd rather spend $50 on that, and I genuinely would if I hadn't got it for free. I don't say that about everything. I'm happily going to stick this in my case and try it out and play with it, because it's one of those things that's just so easy. You can get a quick hit with it. Before you do maybe a longer routine, or incorporate into your longer routines. I'm going to do a couple of other things that I've got from theirs, which has the same kind of thinking kind of behind it. It's a nice, elegant way, non-tech way of doing something powerful. Behind your head, yes, you could. Hey, doing, Pete? How visible? The ink's really visible. Well, the ink, whatever, that's really visible. And the thing that you're hiding, you can just, if you're talking about that, that's super easy to hide. Things like clean lines, I think it's graphite. Yeah, it will be. Transfers from pad to paper. And that's literally, I'm just writing it on the, I think that's what you mean. I'm literally writing it, so it doesn't transfer from anything, but I might have misunderstood that. Right. So, is it necessary to have the board and the writer, or could you just get the writer? Yeah, totally. You could, they go together quite well because of the way, for people like me that are clumsy. But yeah, you can buy each one. So the board if you've got normal writers that you like using, the board's going to help, and the other way round. I think if I only saw the writer and the board didn't exist, without a doubt I'd buy it, because I could still do those things I needed to do. There's a lovely routine in, that I just read recently in, I hate myself. Nick de Fat's book. using the same thing, which is great, like a dual reality thing with a coin and a date of a coin. And as soon as I read it, I went, oh, I can't do that. And now I can. Yay. Right. So that's all good, isn't it? I've just got the writer from Daniel Eagles. The board is literally just a board with well, yeah, so I'm not going to go, but it is that. But I think that for some people, that's going to be a big thing. So, but no, you can definitely do it with both. Right. I'm going to go now. Have a great one. Next Thursday should be okay. We're nearing the time of my show, which is, of course, totally rehearsing together. Some of you are coming to it. And in 45 minutes, we're going live on onlinemagic.co, where I'm going to do an introduction to the Lincoln Rings, going to do an hour on the Lincoln Rings. So do check out that. It's great, but I'm biased. So see what other people have said about it. Onlinemagic.co. Learn from a pro. Hello, what I did there. Right. See you later, everybody. Have a great one. Take care. And thanks very much. Like and subscribe. Bye.